What is falsetto? Why is it so important? And how do we find it? Falsetto, in scientific terms, is pure crico-thyroid stretch. It's when the voice is singing with no thyro-arytenoid tension. Normally when we sing, whatever type of singing you do, no matter how good or bad you are, we sing with both thyro-arytenoid tension and crico-thyroid stretch. So if I want to find falsetto, I need to get rid of the thyroarytenoid tension. So, what I mean by thyroarytenoid tension is ah, ah, ah. So a lot of our singing voice is composed of that. Ah, ah. And in order to find falsetto, we need to eliminate that. How do we do that? Rather than going ah, oh, oh. It's very low for falsetto, that, but it's possible to sing down there. Normally we'd sing falsetto in the area of middle C up to high B. So oh. So that's the voice without any thyroarytenoid tension. Ah, that's with a lot of thyroarytenoid tension. Yeah? So to find falsetto, we need to get rid of thyroarytenoid tension. The best vowel to do it on is the oo vowel. It's not that easy. We'll come to that later, how we do that. But let's just talk about why falsetto is so important. So, thyroarytenoid tension, if you overdo it, it can cause a lot of tension in the throat. And it can also lead to a high larynx, if you go too far with it. Yeah? And people talk about the need for a low larynx, and that's true. The larynx needs to stay low, but it needs to stay low in a very natural way without sort of faking the lowness. Yeah? A lot of teachers will tell you, yawn. And yeah, you get rid of a bit of the thyroarytenoid tension, but you also create tension lower down, because all you're doing by yawning is depressing your tongue. The hyoid bone goes down and presses against the thyroid cartilage. It's like the exact opposite of the swallowing mechanism, where the thyroid cartilage moves up and presses against the hyoid bone. Either way, there's a constriction. So you either get ah or oh. Both ways are constrictions. Yeah? And the way to find the low larynx in a natural way is through falsetto. My larynx is naturally low when I sing in falsetto. The difficulty comes later when we try and put the thyroid tension back in to create full voice, but we'll come to that later. In order to set up the conditions for a low larynx and an open throat, we use falsetto. So the most important thing about falsetto is that it gets rid of throat tension, because throat tension inevitably comes from that overuse of the thyroarytenoid muscles. Ah, 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 and it gets higher up. And you get constriction, high larynx. Yeah? And that's, in order to sing well, whatever sort of genre you're singing in, we need to avoid that high larynx and that constriction, that tension. So falsetto is the most productive, efficient, and natural way to create the conditions for an open throat. So that's one reason falsetto is important. It will reduce throat tension and create the open throat. The other reason it's so important is it will develop your breathing. Because if I want to sing on a high B, in falsetto, without using any thyroarytenoid tension, I have to blow so much air. So the blowing of the air stops my chords fully closing. Yeah? And that gets rid of the thyroarytenoid tension, because the arytenoid cartilages are two little cartilages that make the voice, the vocal folds, open and close. Yeah, and the thyroarytenoid muscles are the muscles that connect those two cartilages with the thyroid cartilage. Yeah, so those are responsible for ah, 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 that tension. Yeah, so if I sing a high B without the thyroarytenoid tension, I have to use a lot of breath pressure. If I reduce the breath pressure, the thyroarytenoid muscles come back in and it's not pure falsetto. So after 2 or 3 years of practicing a falsetto, you're going to have such a powerful breath system. Totally natural. You don't have to like do breath exercise, you know, take deep breath, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blow out again, hold it, whatever. You don't need to do that. The best way to develop your breathing is through falsetto exercises. So the falsetto reduces throat tension, it develops your breathing mechanism, and there's another reason, well, probably the most important reason actually, because without the crico-thyroid stretch, we can't sing high tones. We sing high tones by stretching the chords. They need, as far as the high B anyway, the C something else happens, I'll talk about that in another video. But up to the high B, the chords keep stretching. So when you get to that high B, the chords are fully stretched out. Yeah, and that's the crico-thyroid muscles have a lot of work to do until that high B. We won't talk about the C yet, but for that high B, the crico-thyroid muscles need to be as stretched as possible. Yeah. Obviously later when we bring the full voice in, we need thyroarytenoid tension, but in a reduced way, without that constriction. We put it in. We'll talk about that later. This is just about falsetto today. So we need to put that in for a full voice, but for falsetto, we want to sing without any thyroarytenoid tension. Yeah, any throat closure, any tension in the throat we need to get rid of. Yeah, so to summarize, there's 3 very important reasons to practice in falsetto. You create the relaxed throat, which allows it to open. You develop your breathing, and we stretch the chords, which ultimately leads to singing higher pitches. So, how do we do it? How do we find this falsetto? If you can't naturally just go, hoo, hoo, and believe me, most people can't. I mean, I couldn't until a few years ago. I sang with thyroarytenoid dominant coordination, all the time. Yeah, and so it took a long time using these falsetto exercises to free all that up and create the open throat. So if you can't just go hoo, 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 if you can't find that, there's a good exercise for helping you to find it. And we need to take the chest voice as high as we can, almost like shout. So let's start on an E flat. Yeah. So we need to try and push our chest voice further than would feel comfortable. Yeah, because later on, higher up, you're going to get to the point where you just can't do it anymore. And that is theoretically what happens. What we're looking for them to just give up. Because that's what we want. To find falsetto, we want these thyroarytenoid muscles to just totally give up. They literally have to give up. It's very hard to do because we're so used to when we talk, hello, we're using thyroarytenoid tension all the time. Unless we talk like that, which is very rare, you're going to be using your thyroarytenoid muscles all the time. Yeah? So it's very difficult to make them give up. So we have to force them. Yeah, we force them into a position where they just can't do it anymore and have to give up. So we go up, we keep going. E, F, F sharp, G, G's, things start to get a little bit hard. Yeah, you should still be able to get a G in chest, especially if you're a tenor. Yeah, but G sharp, A, things are going to get difficult unless you're a very lightest of light tenors. Yeah, and let me just stress that even light tenors need to break over into falsetto coordination for these higher tones. Otherwise, it's just shouting. It's not true singing if you're using your thyroarytenoid muscles too high. So, A flat, we're hoping something might happen here. Yeah, probably might not, but we're hoping. It's starting to get hard. Maybe on the A it'll work. You see, we're looking to crack. Most singing teachers will think this is crazy because we want to get rid of the break. Yeah, they say no, we must eliminate the break straight away, and you've got this your middle voice and you sing in that, and that's how you do it. But no, you want to crack the voice. You want to break it apart because that's the only way we can then develop these two registers: the falsetto register, which is the most important register, and the chest. The chest is important obviously too, but it needs to reduce. The chest register in its pure state, its natural state is just too it's too raw and clumsy. It can't do these high pitches. So we need to eliminate it and learn how to use it in a very thinned out way. So the first way is to find this falsetto, break it off. Oh, I've gone up to a B. Okay. It doesn't really matter. Just sing any pitch you want. As long as you get the voice to break over. And you can do slides, octave slides. So once you've got it breaking higher up, once you've taken it high enough to force that break, then see how low you can then do it. Another way of doing it will be to go take a breath and then try and find it again. Not easy to sing down there, but eventually you will be able to. Keep going as far as you can. To begin with, I'm guessing you won't be able to get much below middle C. But eventually you'll get to the C below that, and sometimes even the bass low C. I can get about a C sharp, the bass low C sharp, yeah, in falsetto. So yeah, it doesn't matter how low you go. The important thing is to get the register C, middle C, up to that high B, the tenor high B, the Nessun Dorma high B. That is the highest note you can go in falsetto. Because if I go to C, the thyroarytenoids naturally want to come in again. It's very hard. You have to really blow that crazy to get an open tone there, and it's not advisable. So B, don't go higher than B, but make sure it has no no thyroarytenoid tension in there. And once you've found this falsetto, then you'll find your true chest voice. Because if you come down, the throat is naturally open. You don't have to fake it. You don't have to, you don't have to press down. It will naturally be there once the falsetto is developed and free. Okay, so just to summarize, falsetto is great because it frees the throat, gets rid of all that tension. Yeah, it stretches the chords, allows you to sing high notes, and it develops your breathing. That's about it, really. It's not easy to find that open throat, but try, have a go. At some point, those thyroarytenoid muscles just cannot go any further, and they'll have to give over to something. And at first, it may only be maybe like nothing. The sound might be nothing, but persist with it. Eventually, that falsetto will get big, yeah, in those high notes, not in the low notes. I've said that before in the passaggio video. The passaggio notes need to be quiet, yeah, but those high notes, A flat, A flat A, B flat B, they need a lot of air pressure and it'll be very loud. Yeah. So any questions, as always, send a comment, post a comment, and I get back to you as soon as possible.